It's sounding better to me, but sometimes that doesn't mean very much. Let me know if it's at least acceptable. I also got closer to the mic, so yeah, I don't. I mean, I can boost the volume. That's not a problem. I'll try and be a little bit careful with my volume because I just added 10 decibels, so I reckon that's acceptable at least. Let me know if it isn't. Okay, all right. That was worth spending some time on. All right, put it into Windows here. Let's wait for it to recognize some USB drivers and stuff. I'm using the iGPU here, by the way, just so that the rig cam isn't just one giant GPU obscuring absolutely everything. But if it ends up limiting my overclocking in any way, I will add a GPU. Something like this. So no prizes for guessing what stage I got this GPU for. So how's everyone doing? What are you all benching? Don't worry, you're not missing anything. I'm just rebooting for driver install. So does anyone in chat know anything about the AMD AM1 platform, that socket? How's the audio sync, by the way? Is it somewhat acceptable? It's hard for me to tell because I see everything real time and then I add a delay afterwards, but hopefully. Okay, cool. Perfect is a word I like to hear. Thanks for confirming that. 2-3-4 way? No. Guess again. Okay. Still trying to find drivers. I like this view. I really like this view. God, it's hot here. We're just getting into summer. I might have to swap some USB devices around. Actually, why don't I have a mouse? It's attached via PS2, so that doesn't make any sense. Okay, that worked. Let's do some overclocking, guys. What's everyone benching? How are you all doing? How are you all coping with the incoming Xmas craziness? Okay, first things first, let's open CPU-Z. F, G34, and AM4. So you seem to really like server stuff. So I've obviously downclocked here, but yeah, this is an Athlon 5350. So it's an APU. It's got graphics inside. It doesn't really recognize here, but if I go into GPU-Z, it should tell me something useful. Well, there's no drivers installed, but let's see if we can we work with, no, that's not what we need. Um, how come GPZ is not opening up? Not even sure how Turbo V Evo is working because it's not installed. Oh, Adelaide. Lots of Aussies in chat. Well, welcome new Aussie viewers. I just came back from Adelaide. That's where the bench meet was for the Hard Work Bot Country Cup 2019. So one of the things I noticed with this board, 49.5. I can believe it. Yeah, you could have hung out. We had an Airbnb and we had something like 1,500 liters of LN2. So you could have done a little bit of pouring, but maybe next year. So one of the problems with this board is it doesn't do more than 1.8 volts of RAM voltage. So actually some guy, Moonman, volt modded this board to give it more volts. It's pretty okay for VCore. Actually, it will do like 1.8, so that's all right. I'll give it plus 200 now, actually, if I can. So plus 200. What's the max CPU ratio? 21. So it's actually locked. Interesting. I guess that's where BCLK comes into play. Let's try 105, see what happens. 13, okay. Well, I mean, overclocking is not necessarily something that you need to be over 18 for. LN2 is not a controlled substance, so the other thing with this platform is the top RAM divider is 1600 megahertz at 100 BCLK, obviously. So it's a little bit like AM3 that way. The only issue is I don't have any like postcodes or anything, so this could end very, very quickly. Let's see. 110. Let's see if you can run 666 and 1 command rate. Your 3600 Ryzen, yeah, that's typical. You need cold for that. You need chiller. You need dice, LN2, Cascade, something like that. Come on, Windows. I'm going to have a look actually to see if I can find some sort of overclocking utility for inside the operating system. Okay, so who else? Do we have any of the regulars in chat? There's Keep Hayton, Unsolicited, and 00. And a few new people. Hi to all of you lurkers. So, a very interesting thing about this platform actually is that it has, I mean, I don't know about other boards, but this board has 2 RAM slots, but I actually only have 1 stick in there right now, because it's actually a single channel platform. So I should test in a minute to see how it scales with 2 sticks, even though it's a single channel platform. Let's get rid of this crap. So this is the board. It's pretty much considered to be the best board for this platform. 3D benching is amazing. I love 3D benching. Okay. Well, what should we run? What's a good benchmark? Let's do X265. Let's just see what speed X265 actually runs at. I'm really curious. Let's just do normal priority for now. Oh, it's actually not so bad. It's almost 10 FPS. You know what I really need is I need more monitors. So I have the laptop in front of me for just the chat and some just general looking up of utilities and like doing restores of images and things. And then I have a portrait mode monitor because I can't fit just a landscape one in. And then I have a main monitor and then I have a benching monitor. And 3 monitors side by side is pretty much all I can fit in, while also having space for pots and single stages and chillers and stuff over here. This is the biggest standing desk I could find at IKEA, but it just doesn't have the width. Actually, the room doesn't have the width either. But my previous benching room was even narrower, so I shouldn't really be complaining. Yeah, so I don't know what I'm going to do. I might have to mount monitors on top of each other. But as it is, I already... I'm sort of running out of vertical space as well, because I want to still have the camera and lights and stuff on top of that. So I don't know what the solution is, because I have speakers. I obviously don't want to cover up the speakers. So yeah, but ideally I'd like to have 3 screens for the streaming rig and then a benching screen as well. You're really getting into 3D hating, aren't you? Yeah, he's a good streamer. I hope you keep it up. I don't catch your streams live as much as I would like to. Joe's streams sometimes tend to be better timed for me. But yeah, would be great to catch them live more. 3D is addictive, but it just takes so much time. I'm glad there's three streamers around now. It felt for a long time like there was only one streamer, me, and that's a bit boring because obviously I can't really watch and enjoy my own streams. That would be kind of pointless. So I'm glad there's 2 other streamers, and I'd encourage anybody. I mean, there's Wizardty in French and there's Samza Rules in Spanish, but I'd encourage anybody else to do streams in any language, but preferably English or German, because I could watch them then. A high bar, okay. I wouldn't exactly call today a high bar, but maybe if it's a general comment, then I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, but Billzoid, when I started streaming, Billzoid was pretty much already done. I know he still streams, but he streams sort of like every couple of months, you know. And if I had the time, I would actually prefer to stream more than once a week. I mean, I already don't necessarily get the chance to stream once a week, but that's what I'm aiming for at least. It doesn't, I'm just checking, it doesn't really seem like there's a NOS overclocking utility for this platform, but that's okay. All right, let's just because this is such a rare platform, For the desktop platforms, I think I'm right in saying this is actually the last platform I acquired for AMD, except for the really, really old stuff like Super Socket 7 and stuff like that. So I have motherboards going all the way back to Socket A, or Socket 462 as they also call it. So it went, for mainstream desktop, it went Socket A, 939, AM2, AM2 plus, AM3, AM3 plus, AM4, and I've had all of those. I mean, Socket A was pretty recent, but I had chips for it. I was just waiting to find a good motherboard for it. But between 939 and AM4, I had everything. And then this sort of like APU platforms, there's in no particular order that there's FM1, FM2, FM2 plus, and and AM1, which is this platform. And I've had FM1. FM1 was a Team Cup stage a couple of years ago, and I've had that. So that's why I got an FM1 board from AliExpress. So I've had FM1, FM2, FM2 plus for quite a while. So this was the last desktop platform, and there was the cheaper version of 939, which is a single channel platform as well, which was 754, but again there was a Team Cup stage. So I actually had every AMD desktop platform except AM1 until a couple of weeks ago. So I'm really happy to have found this motherboard. Just ask for it. I mean, you don't really have to provide too much proof on that server to get experience roles. But the annoying thing about DDR4 is that a lot of people ask a lot of questions. So choose wisely, choose wisely whether you really want that role. So X265, if you can notice here, it doesn't actually even recognize the CPU properly. So that's kind of fun. It just says K16. So fun fact, this microarchitecture is also used in, I think, the original Xbox, either the original Xbox or the Xbox 360 Kabini. Let's quickly look that up. We've got time. Oh, caps lock. Beautiful. Xbox One and yeah, so it's 16H is what they call it, the Bobcat family. Both the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One use chips based on the Jaguar architecture. Xbox One, okay, that's kind of interesting. I thought this was older, but goes to show that I don't know very much about it. But I own it now, so maybe let's see, where's my bundle of USBs? Maybe I can use set FSB to do a little bit of in-OS overclocking. That didn't recognize it, did it? Oh, I did. Okay, let's have a look. So if you want the DDR4 experience role, you can get it, but you also just expect to be pinged a lot. Okay, chipset error. No, this is not good. Looking good. Let's just do it the old-fashioned way in BIOS. The only issue might be here that it will also overclock the iGPU by that amount, but it seems to be taking it all right. Let's just double check that it really took that. Yeah, 115. Starting to get to an interesting place in terms of DRAM as well at C6. Would help if I knew my own commands, wouldn't it? There we go. All right. Let's do a run. I prefer to do SuperPi, but let's be realistic here. I barely got all my cameras set up and working somewhat. So if anyone is interested in that kind of stuff at all, just follow that link. Here's all the lenses and cameras. I've got these two spare at the moment. Actually, I could do up to a 6 camera setup, I think. Expensive rig. I don't know. I mean, is it? So this stuff I bought for streaming, but it's like $50, $10, whatever. I already had the case for a gaming system I built previously. I bought the Nano for benching. Okay, that was 100 Aussie dollars to get cooling on my system. I had this board for benching, but it's got so many warped and bent pins and stuff now that I don't really like to take it cold anymore. I had the CPU for benching already. Okay, so Stream Deck thing. Okay, obviously that's for streaming. Camlink is for streaming. I already had speakers for because I like music. So it's just the capture cards really, and like mic and stuff. So the fun thing about my cameras is I have two G7s and a GH2. The GH2 is missing. Oh, blue screen. Damn, you just missed it. I might give it a little bit more volts. So this GH2 I got for like in US dollars it'd probably be about $40. I might have to go lower on CPU temps, but for now let's give it a little bit more volts. So yeah, the GH2 basically cost me nothing. The G7, I like photography anyway, so it's kind of like dual use. The second G7 has a loose lens mount in it, so I got that for really cheap. And the GH2, the reason I got the GH2 for cheap is because it's missing the screen at the back. So the person who was selling it considered it basically for parts or not working, even though I don't need the screen. I have a HDMI connected to my computer anyway, and I can just use the menus through that. So anyway, let's start a new run. Do we have real vCore in CPU-Z actually? Is that a hang? No, just a slow. So Phoenix, you're in Adelaide, I think you said. Ooh, that's okay. That almost didn't recognize. No, we don't have real vCore. That's a shame. Okay, let's keep this up on screen. Or maybe not. Yeah. So, and I mean, you know, webcams are useful for things outside of streaming as well. I already had a tripod or multiple tripods, but yeah, lenses are expensive, but I don't mind. I can use them for other stuff too. So what was our target? I think five FPS overall. Next thing I need to fix is my lighting situation. I need to get more lights in here. But after that, no more reason to upgrade the cameras or anything like that, I think. And touch wood, the internet is looking better than it has in a long time. Oh, music. That's an interesting question. Lots of fucking like really old-fashioned stuff, to be honest. Nothing released in the last. I don't know. I like some of the new stuff, but I'm more sort of into like 70s rock, jazz, classical, uh, a lot of everything. But um, I'm not going to say everything because the recent stuff, like if you know the what is it, Hot 40 or something, the big or Hot 100, the countdown they do on Australia Day every year. Whenever I listen to that, I don't like any of it really because it's. I think that current generation music is kind of. It's very sort of slow and depressing compared to like I don't know. When I was growing up, I listened to Blink 182, and um, that's a bit different to what's out there right now. Yeah, it's all just so overproduced and stuff. Okay, this might pass. It just liked a little bit more um, VCore, from what I could tell. I don't know how to get to do polls anymore either. Apparently, let's look at my cheat sheet here. Oh, that's a really late fail. Wow. Okay, pipe. Pipe is the way to do it. Okay. Okay, here's the poll. um, oh, we have our resident AM1 expert in chat now. Okay, that was a really late fail. Let's ugh, starting to go red. Let's also turn down the chiller a little bit. This is the new camera, Bilko. The mess cam. Single stage. It's like an air conditioning unit attached to your overclocking rig, basically. Nah, it doesn't seem very happy actually. Oh, okay, let's give it a go. You've seen worse messes? Okay, fair enough. I really do like the perspective though. Once the room is cleaned up, I think I'm going to use this camera more. Fridge. Yeah, that's fair. It's kind of like a fridge, but it goes colder than a fridge though. But then again, it goes colder than an air conditioning unit as well. So, um, but yeah, I think this camera will come in handy when I have a Duer on my sofa. I'm actually even considering running a mic back there. Be kind of fun while I'm pouring out of the Duer, just having a mic just perfectly placed there. Fun fact, Wikipedia doesn't actually have an article on single stages. Not the single stages we're talking about, at least. It's kind of funny. Alright, let's indulge for a bit. So that's what it looks like. And this is what it looks like when attached to a CPU. I was doing this a couple of days ago. And this is what I'm considering doing now, which is attaching it to the RAM. Phase change. Okay. Okay, I'm giving up. Here's our run. Evaporative cooler. That's a new one. Okay. Yeah, I think it's not VCore. What I'm going to attempt is go down one timing. And then we'll see. But I think I need to attach my SS to the RAM. How's this poll going? Swamp cooler. No, this is not it. Never heard of this before, but it's not. That's not a single stage. Okay, I'm gonna vote. Okay, 3-0. That settles that. Let's Let's double check our memory. Because it's getting up there, the board is limited to 1.8 volts for sort of 950. So we're at 920. All depends on the IMC and stuff. But let's do a run. Let's see what happens. Oh, so it's under the computer cooling article. I wonder who that is. Okay, so that's 775. Taipei, 2007 Taipei IT month, Intel Taiwan. Yeah, so there you go. That's, I suppose that's sort of an adequate description. Hey, White Shark. You didn't miss too much. I guess I've been live for 45 minutes or so. We are overclocking AM1, and I'm literally just starting. I haven't done anything on this platform. I wish I could show you how I... do I have a lazy way of showing how I mounted the cooling here? So the fun fact is, this platform was part of a Country Cup stage a couple of years ago, or 3 or 4 years ago. And it seems like a regular CPU pod will not fit on this board because it's an ITX board. How are things going over in Germany, by the way? Are you confident? Okay, this is going to be a really lazy way of showing you how I mounted this cooler. Let's see. Okay, you can't see that. You really can't see that. I don't necessarily have a camera that I can quickly move around. Okay, I'm just going to upload it onto Google Drive, and then I'm going to open that. Modern technology. Meanwhile, let's check in on our run or bench here. We've had, to summarize, we've had 2 blue screens in the last like 20% of the run. Okay, here we go. So here you see, can I zoom out somewhat? This is bullshit. No, I don't want to zoom in. Okay. Oh, for God's sake. You can't see the right side. I think you get the idea anyway. There's a screw right here. And then diagonally there's another screw hole up here. Under here actually. So I tried both the Intel and the AMD bracket, and neither of them would fit in any direction. So the only option I had to use was to use a screw here. Actually, can I share it? Probably not. If I download it, this is retarded, but anyway. Okay, there you go. So this fits, and I can just about get the second RAM slot populated if I choose to. But then the second hole is basically down here somewhere. So I just put a a set of rubber bands around it and under the board and back through it here. So this part leads to the actual hole, which is under here somewhere. Right. So the story is the run did complete, but it's slower. So we had a 4.9 earlier. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to see what the limits are on this cooling in terms of the CPU. Finally, someone who uses ShareX. Okay, so that's 1.6 on chiller. I don't think I'm going above 1.6 vCore. Never even heard of that. I'll have to try it. All right. Double checking our overclock. We should be at 110 BCLK now. I might do, or 120, I mean. And then now we're at 960 C7. I'm going to look up the volt mod as well. I think that's interesting to folks. Something's wrong about this OS. There we go. Order is restored. Okay, let me look up that that volt mod. Oh, your AM1 board? You have the MATX version, I think. This is the ITX version. And to be honest, I don't really know what the goal was with this board. When this was part of Country Cup, everyone used the ITX version, but I have absolutely no idea why. I would suspect that they're really similar. I just grabbed whichever Windows 7 I could find, so maybe? I can neither confirm nor deny that statement. Okay, so here's the setup. This will show us a few different things. So the really curious thing is during the stage was obviously, it was on LN2, but because of the BCLK limits, the fact that the chip is locked, multiplier locked, everyone was really tuning their RAM to the absolute max. And what came out of that was that some people ran RAM on LN2, others on SS, others on Air, but there was also a mix of 2 sticks versus 1 stick. So Moonman, a legendary Cascade and single stage user from Russia who has tens of thousands of subs and is unfortunately pretty much in retirement now, did this sub, and this was what his setup looked like. And from what I can tell, he was the only one who did a volt mod on his board, and it must have been for the DDR. The reason I say that is, first of all, it's right close to the DRAM slot, so it makes sense. And secondly, this board only does 1.8. And if he obviously was running single stage on his RAM, you want more than 1.8. On Hypers or PSC or whatever, you'd want 2 plus. And the V-Core is really not the limiting factor because the board gives over 1.7, and all you can ever get in terms of overclocking is like 3 point something gigahertz anyway. So I don't think people were necessarily wanting to get more V-Core. So I think this is a memory volt mod, and I've messaged him about the details of it. I can obviously attempt to zoom in really closely and like solder that myself, but the problem is this board is really hard to find, so I don't want to mess with that. Here's a submission in case people are interested. Harsh. So that was the stage. The stage was SuperPi under 5 gigahertz, and it's specified. Where are we? You had to. So how many subs were there? There were, whatever this is, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 subs. 10 subs, and specified 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it specified all 10 microarchitectures that you had to have a sub in. So this is this Kabini? This is Kabini, isn't it? Yeah, Kabini. So that's why everyone went crazy overclocking this architecture, because it was actually mandatory for this setup. So we got about 0.1 FPS out of that. So for extra EPing, I'm going to put the mainboard tab in this sub as well, in this save file, validation file as well. We lost quite a bit with C7, so if I get the time, I might get the RAM colder. Okay. Let's see what our limits are in terms of BCLK and stuff. I might even drop the mult. Yeah, the only good thing with the chips is that I would imagine, unless you're delitting, which obviously is an option usually for APUs, I don't see them dying, whereas boards can die under cold. Okay, let's see. Let's try 130. That's a lot of DRAM, but ain't no reason to be messing around here. Although I am a bit nervous about the fact that I don't have any debug LEDs and stuff. Well, I posted. But it's not booting. There's no clear CMOS button or jumper either. So it's supposed to just sort of auto recover itself. What I'll do is I'll drop the RAM divider and see if that's the magic touch. Yeah, it's just a niche sort of thing. It's like the extreme chips for 775. They obviously don't have any like actual application anymore, but because they were rare to begin with. iGPU. Yeah, sure. This is obviously, it's a quad core, right? So it's going to be Australia's 3 Mark 06 score. Just working out my efficiency right now. Okay. Yeah, let's just do pure core. See how we go. Probably didn't you know, choose the best bench, but I'm gonna stick with it now. Showing the secrets. So I have the chiller set to 16 degrees Celsius. God, it's hot in here. I'll go to my trusty sparkling water while I'm waiting for this run. Let's have a quick look through submissions. So the fun thing is pretty much everyone used this Athlon chip because it's the quote unquote flagship of this platform. So pretty much all 32M subs are that at the top here are from Country Cup 2016 or whatever it was. Which Country Cup was it? 2014. Wow, that's a long time ago. So Wizardy absolutely stole the show. I think everyone more or less ended up topping out at around the same BCLK. Run is 30% done. This is annoying. I need to change this. 1 second. Maybe not. I should really be showing the run. But yeah, everything did loud silence. Sub, no. Okay, so that's the first sub that's not from Country Cup. Oh, Delhi is also just doing his Delhi thing. Moonman was for Country Cup though, surely, yeah. So Moonman ran single stage on the RAM at 966C6, but didn't push the BCLK that much by the sounds of things. 145 is still respectable. And water. And here we have the Romanians. And they ran 2 sticks. So that's why I'm gonna test 2 sticks as well. Because for an efficiency stage like this, clearly people tried a few things. They didn't just populate every single dim slot. And here we've got Australia, and Australia ran a single stick. And pretty loose memory actually, but maybe that was just the way to get the max BCLK. What did Indonesia do? Indonesia seems to have run a single stick as well. And then I'm pretty sure Wizardy ran 2 sticks on air. But 2 sticks of PSC. Or is it BBSC? It's always hard to know, but 2 sticks of something that's not hypers. Okay, so we have a result. And that's worth saving. Wow, I dropped a whole mem divider, but it still was faster with just more core. So that's an interesting that the board defaults to a non synchronous north bridge, but okay, we can try and tune that later. Let's try 140. Summer tires in December. That doesn't sound like a winning strategy to me, but it's a free country, right? Let's try 140. Is that a post? It's trying to do something. All right. Let's chuck in a GPU there, just in case that's limiting us. Hybrid, for sure. Fans are ramping for some reason. That's not a good sign. There's no clear CMOS jumper or button, so I don't know what else to do except pull the battery. Let's try a different GPU. This happened to me before where the system just didn't want to post. I mean, it's supposed to recover from overclocking issues. Maybe it's still outputting to the iGPU actually. That's another thing to try. Come on. Still nothing. I could see how this could get annoying when you're trying to run 32M. Let's try pulling the 24 pin. Yay! Faith in Asus boards restored. As it hangs on the post screen. So yeah, great. Capture card issues. Okay. Where were we? Okay, PCIe sounds good. Can we force it off? No. Okay, let's try 135. One, 3, 5 is fine. Okay, so that just rebooted. What we might do is go at a lower mult. Yeah, all kinds of funky things are happening now. Time for that second stick, I think. Or maybe it's time to pull the 24 pin. Always seems to work. Okay, I don't know, something like 19 mult. So there's a clear CMOS. I know it's going to help here. Single stage. So here's the single stage adapter. It's basically just a metal plate with two big screws coming out of it. As I'm about to get lots and lots of thermal paste all over my hands. Sorry about the shaky cam. Mythical, the specs of the SS are that it barely functions. It does about minus 20. So it's perfect for RAM. All right. Something's happening. I didn't bother connecting any thermal probes. Basically, once it's fully iced up, the RAM sticks are fully iced up, I'll have an idea roughly what temps it is. It is a quiet single stage. Oh. And it hung in bias. What else is new? Yeah, I'll get it regassed. Probably. Is it a Kale unit? Maybe. Not sure. Ooh. How is it 10 o'clock at night and still so hot? Well, no, there's no breeze inside my apartment. No, unfortunately. Well, we still have both sticks of RAM. That's always good. Okay, that's a full reset of the damn bias. That's exactly what we need. Let us go back to where we were. what we want is like 125 and the higher strap. Yeah, we want the higher strap. Yeah, there's a few Aussies in here. Let's aim big. Let's try, well, famous last words, I suppose. Let's try 666. At 2000 RAM. What do you mean not many know who Kale is? Kale is legendary. Really doesn't want to do 666 at those volts. Yeah, I'll stick with 777. If it just gave me some sort of indication of what's going on with it. Okay, 24 pin pull. You got what you wanted, by the way. 5-0. Okay, 777. The higher strap and 125. A flat 1000 RAM is what I'm gonna aim for. Okay. I'm tempted to try like 676 and 766, but for the sake of my own sanity, I really need to mod that voltage. I don't know if Mick or somebody else has some input on this. This is what Moonman did. to get more volts on his DRAM, but I'm just scared to just use this picture only to try and get more than 1.8 volts on the RAM. I may have to. I've messaged Moonman, but he's an inactive member of Harrowbot, so yeah. I don't know what Brazos is, but so you're saying prog ODT. So these two and this one. Ah, should have switched. So in terms of ODT, this is what I get. There's this mentions ODT, this mentions ODT, and this mentions ODT. But I'm assuming you're more looking for like a resistance setting or something. There's no this is it. This is all this board will do. Yeah, but isn't I know what on-die termination is, but on I just know it from Ryzen where it's measured in ohms, whereas here it's just a multiple. Ah, here we go. So this is what you're talking about. Okay. Thanks. I'll note that. I'm just gonna see what I can do in terms of. We're already at the max mult. Maybe just do a run. Just get a run in. Yeah, it's just a frustrating platform to do anything with because I don't. There's no difference between, hey, I'm gonna fail this overclock and give you like an F1 versus I'm never gonna come back. Okay. I might try and drop the mult in case that's an issue. At least it should post. I mean, I can look at the lights on the keyboard. Okay, let's try 20. This is a nice site though. Chiller and SS. Oh, okay. So that was core. Apparently. Still not booting though. It's getting closer. Well, let's just see. I can't really go lower on the chiller or else I'll get some sort of condensation issue. I can't go higher on the RAM either if that's the issue. Yeah, it's really struggling. Okay, so it's not the core. It's not the core, it's the RAM. Let's try 80. And we can put the core back to what it was. It's worse. Yeah, it's definitely worse. Capture card. Yeah. Just out of curiosity, I'm going to try C8. Just doesn't seem to like, maybe the RAM frequency or something. Let's do this differently. Okay. Alright. Let's give it a little bit of time to find the new GPU. It dropped the divider without telling me. That's weird. I really don't like benching ITX boards. I'm starting to realize. Okay, this is looking promising. My keyboard flashed. Okay. So this should be reset now, but maybe I need to do a clean reboot to get rid of the GPU driver weirdness. It should be all empty, like no OC applied. Yeah. Weird how it defaults to 20.5, yet 21 is the max. I always pick the funniest platforms to run cold RAM on. I should just get my best Haswell out and run cold RAM on Haswell, and then I'll actually see differences. Here I'm probably IMC limited or something. I really don't know why a reboot would be an issue. I think what I need to use on my board on this board is a 24 pin extender, so I can just pull the extender instead of the 24 pin itself. Yeah, so clearing CMOS keeps working, but then I can't like apply settings or reboot or anything. It almost sort of seems like the PS2 keyboard isn't recognized either. So mashing delete isn't doing anything. The whole issue started when I switched from iGPU to dedicated GPU. So that was the problem. Okay, maybe not. Let's pull CMOS again. That's a post. All right. Why is it attempting to apply overclocks again? I don't really understand. Okay, nice and easy. 120. Maybe I need to build up a new profile. Maybe that's the answer. At least pulling the battery seems to be sort of working in some sense. That's a new one, a black screen. Okay, that's gonna have to be it. I don't know what's going on with this board. I really don't. And it's not getting any colder. It's definitely not getting any colder. I would say at this ambient anyway, the single stage only does maybe minus 15. And these are Corsairs, so that's measured on the outside of the stick. So here's a Samsung stick. I would put the thermal probe on the outside here because it's really hard to get rid of these epoxied or glued on spreaders. So you're talking minus 15 on the outside, then with a little bit of heat on the actual IC, I don't know, minus 12, minus 10. That's at idle, so I don't know how much load would add to that, but under load you might even be single digits minus. So that's a little bit of a low point to finish off the streaming year on. But it's gonna have to be it, I think. Let's see if I can get a post out of the system. Yeah, I hope that That's not even posting. I hope that everyone has a nice. I don't know what the politically correct term is anymore. Holiday period or Christmas, Xmas, whatever you call it. Quiet time of the year, December. Let's just call it December. And yeah, it was fun streaming in 2019. I'll definitely be back in 2020, maybe on a platform that I understand a bit better than this. The politically correct term is Christmas. Okay. My employer doesn't think so. We don't have Christmas parties at my employer anymore. It's end of year party or seasonal party, which I don't agree with, but I don't have any say in that. So happy holidays, happy quiet time of the year, happy Christmas. Yeah, thanks for watching all of 2019. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to come back with in 2020. It was about extending the holiday period. Well, considering that Black Friday is a thing now, and in countries that don't have the holiday that spawned it, Thanksgiving. Happy everything, yes. So yeah, I hope you all have a good start into the new year. I hope you all do well in all of your benching endeavors for the next couple of weeks while I'm off. And then yeah, first 1 or 2 weeks in January, I'll try and put together a stream. But yes, this is the pleasure of AM1 benching. Right wing rags. Okay, before we get really political, catch you all next year, next decade even. Thanks for watching.